Hello, beautiful lights, and welcome to my page. If you're new to this page, my name is Angela from Acasma Hearts with Angela. So today I want to talk about moving through being haunted, experiencing ghosts or the paranormal. So I'm going to first say that I do not like the term ghost. Our words have power, and ghost has an energy of fear attached to it. So when we call something a ghost, we're already starting our experience from a fear space. First thing to really understand in using Acasma to move through your mediumship spaces is that you are sovereign. And when you are anchored in your wholeness, present in your now space, there is no reason for fear. There is a knowing that all is well and that your vibration is high enough to not attract those negative experiences into your space. So when you face a haunting, I would first suggest removing the term ghost from your vocabulary. There are a couple things that I call it within the Acasma teachings. One is Ethereal Being, which is a realm of angels, spirits, ancestors, just the realm of spirits in which we connect with on a regular basis, part of our light team, or non-physical being. That is for the beings that come into our space that aren't particularly connected to us, but we're available to them, and they know that we can see them, feel them, hear them, or experience their experience through an exchange of energy. And so when you look at them immediately through an energetic space that matches the experience that you would prefer to have, then they are not going to come in under that fear space. I don't know if this is making sense. When we see something and we get scared, we feed it that energy. And so it can only use the energy that we give. The non-physical being can only use the energy that we present to them. And so they're going to come back to us with something that we are familiar with, and we're actually going to end up seeing what we're afraid of instead of what they're really trying to present to us. Because again, it's the energy that you bring to the table. Let me give you a real world experience, an experience that I had very recently. And this is why I am starting to step out of that fear space and really own my sovereignty and take my space back in a sense. Earlier this year, I went to Panama City, Florida, in the Panhandle. And we were coming home late night from a pretty intense thunderstorm down a very remote road. Highway 98 is where we end up at some point. And that's important detail later down the road. But however, later that night we finally got to our hotel, settled in, went to sleep. I woke up at about 2:45 a.m. and I laid there for a minute. I opened my eyes and I looked into the doorway of the hotel room where you come in. And right in front of the wall-length, full-length mirror is a shadow figure standing there with giant headlight eyes. I was terrified. I am like, I've never seen anything like this, and I've seen a lot. I've never seen anything like this. So immediately I pulled the blankets over my head. And isn't it amazing how we think that a piece of fabric is going to protect us? But we do it. We all do it. Oops. I hit my wind chimes. We all do it. And then I heard my mentor's voice in my head, Andrea Garris. You can find her at A.L. Garris. I'll link her up here. She was telling me, to move out of that fear space, that I could do this. And so I took my blanket down. She was closer. She was much closer. She was out of the entryway and kind of in the room. I was the second bed in closest to the window. So she's closer. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stare her down. I'm gonna stare her down, and if she moves closer, I'm not gonna freak out. I'm not gonna freak out. So she just stood there. And then she slowly disappeared. So I'm trying to process. So I get up, I decide I'm going to go to the bathroom, do what you got to do. And as I move through the space in which she was in, I got a flash of her in a hospital gown, looking very confused. She went from this very scary form in which my energy was fear, and as I shifted my energy, I gained clarity of who she was and what she was really needing. And I did look up the information and did find that a woman was unfortunately killed on a bicycle at 2:45 in the morning or thereabouts. She was hit by a vehicle. She was taken to the hospital where she later died from her injuries. And so that really intensified my experience. I didn't know what to do. And so immediately the next day I got with Andrea, my mentor, and she said, find out if she needs what's called a soul reconnection. This is what we do in Acasma. We don't cross over. And there's a reason for that. And I'll do another video because that's fairly detailed. But we do not believe in crossing over a spirit that is not ready to cross over. We do a soul reconnection to realign them with their purpose. And so Andrea reminded me that I needed to ask what it is that she wanted, because not all spirits come to us because they need something. Sometimes they're there to teach us a lesson. So I asked her, what is it that she's needing from me? Is she wanting to move on? She did not at that time. She just wanted someone to know her story. And as I dug a little deeper into her story, I understood, and I'm not going to get into the details of that because this is someone's personal life, and one day someone might see this video and know who this individual is, and I don't want to spill their private business. However, it resonated a lot of sadness in my body. This individual had been through a lot. And so I left it alone. About a month later, she came back, and she decided she did want to cross over, or not cross over. She wanted her soul reconnection. And so we went through the process, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Later on, she connected with one of my fellow light spirit sisters, light workers, and told her to tell me thank you, that she was in fact at peace. Had I stayed in that fear state, I would not have been able to move through that step, that process with her. There is so much more to mediumship, to hauntings, to ghosts, that we are programmed to believe by society, by fear. Fear creates a lot of walls. Fear creates a lot of separation. And so when we remove that fear, we begin to have what I consider a more spiritual experience with the non-physical or ethereal beings. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe to this video. Don't forget to share with your fellow mediums or people who have experienced hauntings. And if you'd like to hear more, comment below. I would love to hear your experiences, or even your questions. I would love to answer your questions. Otherwise, unending blessings.